We're sending them back, and then they're schooling, they're learning, they're coming in legally. We have a lot of that going on, but we're taking care of our farmers. We can't let our farmers not have anybody, these people, that you can't replace them very easily. People that live in the inner city are not doing that work. They're just not doing that work. And they've tried, we've tried, everybody tried. They don't do it. These people do it naturally. I said, what happens if they get it to a farmer the other day? What happens if they get a bad back? He said, they don't get a bad back, sir, because if they get a bad back, they die. I said, that's interesting, isn't it?
Well, you heard that. Donald Trump is a believer in eugenics. He believes that white people are the superior race. And inner city is code for black people. And he believes black people cannot now work on the farms. I guess they're not good enough for that. So Hispanic people can do it because they have the backs for it. This is what this man is saying out loud in interviews. He is a racist. It's been proven time and time again. The man had Mein Kampf on his bedside table that he would read at night. Enough to let you know where he stands on that. Just more outrageous, racist things from Donald Trump. They want to arrest those who can do the farm work, well, until their backs give out. And then he'll probably ship them to El Salvador or some other country. Just more vile statements from the president and let you know where he stands.
Did you think you had another race that you can pop into those jobs? Did you think you can pay another race as little as you were paying those people from other countries who were here illegally? That's what you thought. You thought if you put the pressure, jack the prices up of everything, make it high, make people around here struggle, that you was going to have a certain race that would run to those jobs. I bet you I know which race you thought it was going to be. I ain't going to take it there, but y'all know. But see, Dino, let me put you up on something. Our ancestors, were forced to be in those fields. Our ancestors lack knowledge. They were unable to go to school and be educated and learn how to read, learn how to count, learn anything about handling business. They were forced. They were just tossed there, told whatever, and they had to do it. Shout out to our ancestors. Shout out to all the people who fought to give us equal right, fought to give us education, fought to give us our own mind, fought so we can go to school and learn business, fought to just simply teach us 1 + 1 = 2. We are not our ancestors. We are not our ancestors. Do you hear me?
Hi guys, my name is Esther Daniel and you're welcome back to the channel. So Trump just admitted something he's been denying for years. America needs immigrants. Yes, the same man who built his whole brand on close the borders is now saying farmers are suffering because they don't have workers, and that people in the inner cities are not going to take those farm jobs. In other words, all that we are taking back our job stock, turns out those jobs were never the ones people wanted to take in the first place. Let's get into it, and before we do that, please subscribe to the channel, like and share the video to help the channel out.
Y'all, so apparently the Republicans thought if they got rid of the illegals and they put more financial pressure on the black communities and the people of color that are American citizens, that we would want to go in the fields and we would want to do the work that the previous citizens that hadn't yet to obtain their citizenship would do. Now, hear me out. When the produce immediately changed, at first I was a little annoyed. I live in Arizona for perspective. So yeah, they here. They out here for real. And it hit us immediately. Do you hear me? When the produce went bad, at first, and not bad, but like it just was, you could tell. Like you can tell the difference. At first I was a little annoyed, but then I sat back and was like, no, actually, no, for real. That's what they need. They need to see that. And it wasn't just the produce. That's the crazy part. It was the produce and so much other shit that immediately like came like a wave through Arizona. They needed that wake-up call. I've been staring at a house that has been taking upwards of at least, I want to say 7-8 months to finish. Before they left, I used to watch, because this is where I live at, the whole strip is being developed. I watched them complete an entire development in under a year. I watched them complete an entire development in under a year. For perspective, it's a big ass development too. The entire development was done in under a year. There are houses on this strip in the past 6 months, they just been sitting at a standstill. Crickets, where y'all at? When the produce went bad, I was annoyed at first, but then I said, no, they need this wake-up call. They need to know the contribution, citizenship or not, that these people actually make to this country. They need to understand that a land that was already built off of stolen land does not give you the right to kick people out when their ancestors were indigenous to this land. You need to understand the contribution and the amount of work that they did the jobs you didn't want to do, that I don't want to do on a daily basis. You also need to understand their contribution. Now, Trump wants to bring them back legally. Because he's like, them niggas is not trying to get out there in the sun. And they not trying to do none of that work. And not. Why? So you can treat us 10 times worse? You gonna have to pay to play, baby. You gonna have to pay them people to come back here. You gonna have to pay them people to come back here. Y'all humiliated them in front of the whole world in the nastiest, most vicious ways. You gonna have to pay them people to come back here. Oh, and just so you know, our produce has increased. So I know they let some of y'all back in. I know they let some of them back in. Don't lie. I know they pushed some of them applications through and was like, listen, when can you clock back in? Okay? Everything's going to shit. I bet it is. I bet it is. I bet it is. You need to issue a very public apology. You need to offer them something. Offer them something. Offer them something. Excluding the Cubans that was like, oh my God, I vote for Donald Trump. Lead them out. They wasn't doing no work, no way. They wasn't doing no work, no motherfucking way. They think that they white. Lead them out. But yeah, y'all, Donald Trump said that because the black people don't want to do the jobs that the illegal citizens that they deported, because they don't want to do those jobs, they gonna have to let some people back in. Y'all, they built alligator Alcatraz without even so much as thinking about. And now that I think about it, I don't think that they're going to let them back in without putting them through like a Squid Games kind of situation. Let me know what y'all think. Am I the only one that's clocking tea? Because you just built alligator Alcatraz. And there has been a 60-minute video about you dumping people's bodies in the ocean and bodies washing up along the shore. So, I don't know. Maybe you should have thought this one through.
Hey guys, it's Leash. Listen, your president, not mine, has decided that he is going to reverse this whole deportation situation and is suggesting that people come back to America to work these farms and everything. Not saying sorry, not acknowledging that what he did was probably one of the most horrific things you could do to people and families, children, tearing families apart or anything. No, he is basically saying that, the farmers here need help. And so they're going to educate them, get them legally sent back to this country to do the work that he thought the folks in the inner city would have been able to do. Clearly, if you read between those lines, he thought that black people were going to get out in these fields and do the work that the folks that he deported would have done. And to that I say, sir, you are so detached from the people that it is pathetic at this point. How in the hell did you think that black people were going to get in the fields and do that work? Like, is anyone like consulting with you? I mean, I'm being so serious, y'all, because it's like, sir, most black people are established in some way, which speaks to the lack of understanding and knowledge and whatever else you want to say as it relates to black people and understanding the progression of black people in this country. Not everybody's waiting for some handout and, oh yeah, I'll go work those fields. Like, you're smoking something, sir. And it's not good. It's not good. So yeah, that's your president. He's a hot mess. And yeah.
Donald Trump has backtracked, and he has essentially admitted that we need immigrants here in the United States of America. Okay, so in a press conference, this man says, y'all, racism is so expensive. This man says, basically that farmers are suffering because they don't have workers, and people in the inner city are not going to take those jobs. And we know how to dissect what he said. Essentially what he's saying is, they marketed their campaign as, oh, we're taking back our jobs. And they thought the legal people of color were going to go take those jobs. He essentially said the black and brown people in the inner city are not going to take those farm jobs. No. And those undocumented immigrants who are working those jobs, that was their only option to make money in this country. They left, some of them left dangerous countries. They wanted better lives for their children, better education. They just wanted a better life overall. And so they took what they could. And those jobs were modern day slavery, okay? Those people were freaking working 7 days a week, 10-hour days for like $10 an hour in the hot sun, picking fruit. Like, and you thought like those people aren't doing that because they think that that's a good pay. And you thought, people who are legal citizens were gonna go do that. You could make more money at McDonald's or fast food. I would join the military before I did that, like, to be honest. And what I've peeped about these businesses that used to employ undocumented workers, like farmers, some construction companies, other small businesses, they can't even afford to pay more than what they were paying. Y'all can't even afford to pay really a livable wage, a wage that, somebody who is a citizen would accept for the type of work that you're asking for, but you voted against your own interest. Like, I hope that, all of these undocumented immigrants who are going to make their way back, I hope they realize you have power. And right now, the power is in your hands. And don't go back for them pennies, okay? You have a lot of leverage right now. And y'all, like I said, being racist is so expensive.
Let's be real. What Trump is dancing around is the fact that undocumented immigrants have been keeping this country running, doing the hard, back-breaking work no one else is lining up to do. And this country have been running on their labor for years. Many of these folks came here from dangerous countries, escaping violence and poverty. They didn't come here to steal anything. They came here to survive, to give their kids a better life, to put food on the table. Now, farmers are crying out because their crops are rotten. Businesses are slowing down. And why? Because the same politicians who depended on immigrants' labor turned around and kicked those workers out of the score political points. And now they are finding out racism comes with a price tag, a big one. Anyway guys, these are just my opinion and I would like to hear your thoughts in the comments. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel, like and share the video to help the channel out.